Today I'm going through some Hollow Knight story, lore, whatever you might want to call it. I'm going to talk about the Void and the Radiance, the Infection, the Pale King's transformation, the Dreamers, and the Hollow Knight's escape. So, stay tuned till the end. First, the Void and the Radiance. Before Hallownest existed, the land was inhabited by various tribes of insectozoid and arachnoid beings, which are basically bugs and spiders. One of these tribes, the Moths, worshipped a higher being known as the Radiance, a creature of light and dreams. Another ancient civilization, like their king was the Pale King, aka the Void. And yeah, the Radiance and the Void were in opposition, and their conflict shaped the history of the land. The Radiance didn't like that the other half of the world was being ruled by the Pale King. So it created the Infection that would make their minds they would immediately think as the Radiance as their ruler. The Radiance, forgotten and abandoned by its people, spread its influence through dreams, driving bugs of Hallownest to madness. This created the Infection, an orange-hued substance that permits all kinds of enemies that you fight in the game. That's the reason they're evil. Alright, now we've got the Pale King's transformation. The Pale King, originally a worm, a snake-like being, arrived in the land and transformed into a monarch. Now he looks basically like a fork. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like a fork. But yeah, he granted the bugs of Hallownest all kinds of stuff. He granted them language. So the Hallownest language is totally based on the Pale King. He was basically the one who came and kind of modernized the whole thing. Of course, his efforts to uplift the bugs are the central to the lore of the game. Now, he wasn't exactly bad or good, but we'll get into that later. Let's get into the Hollow Knight's escape. It is revealed that the Knight tried to escape the Abyss, but encountered the Hollow Knight and Pale King. The Hollow Knight was one of the pure-ish vessels. Let me go into that. Okay, so the Pale King, really mad about the Infection, wanted to create bugs without minds so that they couldn't be corrupted. Now, this plan worked, but the bugs had to be completely pure. So some of the enemies that you fight in the game aren't completely pure, such as Broken Vessel. That's the only one that's coming. The Hollow Knight, as you think about it, he thought that the Hollow Knight was completely pure, and he's with him right now. But one of the other pure knights, the Knight. Alright, so the Knight tried to escape the Abyss, but encountered Pale King and his Knight. They sealed the entrance, sending the Knight way back down. How the Knight managed to escape after this is still unknown. But I'd like to make a theory. I think that falling from that height, he smashed through the Void. And now the Abyss, / the Void, whatever we might want to call it, is crazy. I mean, it's basically made of no longer living vessels. So in my opinion, he could have crashed through the floor, and it would have sent him somewhere else. If the Void can really do that, I'm not sure, that's just my guess. So then, where we see him at the beginning of the game, where he is walking, and with all those lampposts and everything in King's Pass, that's just my guess. Now let's talk about the Dreamers. To encounter the Radiance's plague, known as the Infection, the Pale King created the 3 Dreamers, Monomon, Lurian, and Hera. These Dreamers entered stasis to protect the Hollow Knight's slumber and prevent the Infection from spreading. Now the Hollow Knight, still thought to be completely pure, stored the Infection, and they put him in there. And they put him in the Black Egg Temple. I shouldn't have said there, but the Black Egg Temple is basically just a very, very secure prison, basically. They chained him up and made sure he would never get released. Foreshadowing. Anyways, so he made the Dreamers to make sure this place would be forever locked. Monomon, Lurian, and Hera. Now let's get into some gameplay features. I will recommend what you want to do with this lore. You're going to want to go to Hera in Deep Nest, because Hera is clearly the obvious answer because she isn't guarded by a boss. Monomon and Lurian are guarded by bosses. Lurian is guarded by the Watcher Knights, extremely hard boss. Monomon is guarded by Umu, who is not very hard. So I'd say go for Hera first, go for Monomon, and then go for Lurian. That's just what I've got here. So, yeah. That's basically all. So, alright, now I'll get into some other lore. You end up defeating the 3 dreamers, okay? The knight goes across the land, finds Hera in Deepnest, defeats her. Then he goes up to Fog Canyon, finds Monomon, and Quirrell helps him take out Umu. You then find Quirrell at the Blue Lake, who decides to keep going on his adventures. It is unknown whether Quirrell survives, if he's going to be in Silksong, or if you were just never going to see him again. Hashtag Quirrell is the GOAT. Anyways, let's get into more of it. He is helped by Quirrell to defeat Umu, and then Quirrell uses his mask and allows the dreamer to awaken, and then all you gotta do is hit him a couple times. Then the knight ventures off to the City of Tears, where he goes up into a very high tower and fights the Watcher Knights. The Watcher Knights are a bunch of bugs that have been corrupted by the infection before they were the guardians of the City of Tears. Very interesting in my opinion. And then he finally unlocks the Black Egg Temple and fights the Hollow Knight. Alright, so there are multiple ways that this ending could go. The base ending is him fighting the Hollow Knight and becoming the Hollow Knight by getting chained up and storing the infection, and he's completely pure, so overall it's for the better. The other one is if you get 2 pieces of a charm. I'm not going to spoil, I know I'm spoiling a lot, I just don't know the names of the charms, okay, spare me. I'm sure Foolish Bread, I'm looking for you to help me in the comments, but anyways. But you end up, Hornet ends up helping you defeat the boss, and that is called the Sealed Siblings, where you and Hornet are trapped in there together. Another ending is where Hornet opens up which is the picture you're seeing now, the Hollow Knight, and that allows the knight to dream nail him and fight the Radiance. As you know, the Radiance, who we talked about earlier in this video, was, I mean, kind of the creator of the world, but he's just not so nice. So you have to fight him, and eventually the knight no longer survives. And then Hornet gets ready to fight the Hollow Knight herself, which is why I made a video on saying how she should fight the Hollow Knight. That's the first boss of the game in Silksong. Anyways, I think the other ending is the Pantheon ending. I think you just have to beat all 5 Pantheons. I don't know too much about that ending, but yeah, you guys can let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching this. This was a complete Hollow Knight lore video. Okay, maybe not complete, but I had a ton of lore for you guys just to gobble up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.